Hey everyone, for those of you who watched last week's This Week in Hitting Dice video, you should have been expecting this one. We started a new D&D campaign, which means you get the D&D player journals again. So, I would like to introduce Conrad Klosterheim. He is a war cleric from, well, it's obviously a warrior priest of Sigma, but we'll ignore that for now, seeing as Sigma doesn't technically exist. But he is a war domain cleric and something a little bit different. If you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know I painted up this guy for a one shot for the Sentry Boxes stream a while ago, and I've been itching to get him back on the table. I really love this model. It's so evocative for me. The facial expression for this guy is just all like bone weary and still doing his thing. So yeah, he's trying to explain why he's such an older gentleman and only level one was interesting. So it's good. It's going well. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I suppose we will go on to like how the actual sessions went. I suppose I want to keep these relatively brief. I don't want to bore you all with dice rolling and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's been good fun. We started a new campaign. The last one that we had started kind of fell apart. A couple of players left because they had study commitments and things like that. So we've gone for a more mature group this time, and yeah, I feel like this one might progress a little bit more. So I'm hopeful. Fingers crossed. And the way this one started was we had the first session, we actually generated the stats for our characters and a couple of different rules and things. So we had a stat block to choose from, or you could roll 4d6, re-rolling ones, and 7 times. So you have one stat that you drop. And my stats just came out crazy high for once. The dice did not hate me. So that was pretty good. I think my lowest stat was a 12 after dropping in characteristics for being a human. So I've got like a 20 strength, which is pretty crazy. Especially level 1, I feel like he's just going to wreck stuff with that hammer. +7 to hit at level 1 is pretty crazy. Well, anyway, yeah, like I said, that's getting more mechanical than I wanted to talk about in this video. If you want to hear about more mechanical type stuff, we did start a D&D podcast on Sunday, I think we recorded, so it came out on Monday, so you could check that out. But yeah, in fact, I'll link it up the card at the end, and there'll be a little link card above me right now. But yeah, I'm so bad at doing these YouTube videos. I really need to get more practice in. You'd think after like 500 videos or like 450 videos I'd have this down, but I still don't. I'm so inconsistent. I do apologize. But yeah, it went really well. We generated the characters, had a little bit of banter. There were 3 of us to start with, so we had myself. I wanted to play something slightly different to the usual like tanky fighter, but we didn't actually have a tanky fighter, so War Domain Cleric it was. We have a, a wizard and a half elf wizard and a an elf rogue. So we should be pretty heavy on damage, but we didn't have anyone to just sit there and take it. So I had this model done. I figured it'll fit the theme, and went with that. We role played out our journey to where we all met. I had to go and deliver. No, the elf was a courier delivering a message to a master wizard. The wizard was an apprentice to a master wizard, and I'd been summoned by my deacon to send me to this wizard because he had an apprentice who needed some how would you describe it? He needed some nurturing. She needed some nurturing in the world. So yeah, we all met up. We agreed that we would travel together to the eastern fringes of the country, where it's quite newly being developed. There's been new lands captured, and we're trying to like get the agriculture going and basically set up town. So it's a more it's a pretty interesting political setting, and I'll bring up all the maps when we actually get into the game proper. But basically, heading off to Eastern Fringes. Well, if you're familiar with Warhammer, like the Border Prince territories, um, it's kind of Wild West type thing. I'm expecting it to be, and then we were a little bit concerned. Obviously, with only 3 players, we wouldn't minded a fourth. So I asked Justin, who will be on the channel. He's been on the channel before, but will be on again. We did a Dark Souls card game video, which I'm still editing. So the actual gameplay ones take a lot of time to get right. But yeah, so he said he'd be happy to play. So he jumped into session 2. So the start of session 2 was actually like we moved on to our journey, and I wanted to start back off at my starting location so I could say bye to people and go on. Then we went to Mercenaries Guild to hire a guard, and that's how we met Justin's character. So the DM just left us to negotiate a contract with Justin, and that felt it felt rather interesting, shall we say? Because obviously we as players we know that he's a player and he's going to join the group, but he's role playing his character who's a mercenary, and we're trying to hire him. So he's asking for this amount of silver a day, and I'm like, well, what do you? What if we just say no? You're gonna fucking come anyway. But I'm trying to role play my character, so I'm trying to work out how much we have, how much we can afford. I'm trying to leverage the fact that when we get there, I can get you more work. Um, so that was an interesting experience, actually role playing off against each other. We all knew what the outcome was going to be. We did it all, no dice rolling, that kind of stuff. It was all actual role play, which was pretty good. I suppose that's one thing we can touch on. At the play style, Jeff's relatively new to the system. It feels like not as familiar. I mean, I've played. This will be my 3rd campaign now. So I'm getting better to grips with how I want to approach the system. And then Jim was very like one shot type. I'll roll for this, I'll roll for that. Where I much rather role play through things as well. So it's a decent balance, and it'll be interesting how that dynamic shifts if we become more if I become more like dice rolly, or if Jim becomes more of a role player, it'll be an interesting dynamic. And then Justin was really good, really funny. He's playing a with shield fighter person, so be doing like protectiony stuff. And then we set off on our merry way. We had a choice between trying to work our way up to a King's Road, which was going to be quite safe and more expedient, or working our way along a coastal road, which was closer, and then trying to meet up later on with the King's Road. And we decided to go that way. Um, After a little bit of marching orders, things like that, we made camp and then saw some things. So we went to investigate and got attacked by what appeared to be a panther or a jaguar, some kind of nocturnal cat. And that was it was pretty interesting. It was good to see exactly how broken my character was, as I thought it would be. Because I think I managed to do in one round, I did 30 points of damage at level 1. Because in the first round of combat, I cast the weapon thing, the radiant. Oh dear, I'm gonna have to bring this up, aren't I? D&D Beyond. There we go. What's it called? Spells. There we go. I cast Divine Favor on myself. Gave me an extra D4, and yeah, it was good. So my weapon was doing 1d8. I was doing 1d4 extra, and then because I'm a War Domain cleric, as a bonus action, when I attack, I can do a second attack as a bonus action. So both attacks hit, rolled my damage, got 7 and 8, and then yeah, just absolutely crushed this cat. And yeah, that was interesting. So I actually felt like the dice did well. The only times I rolled ones was like 3 times in the night where I tried to like investigate things or do anything that wasn't just hitting something with the hammer. So we kind of stereotyping my character down this one route. So we'll see. It'll be fine. I'm not too worried. Someone else can do all of the investigating. Yeah, I suppose that kind of sums it up. We made it to the next major city or town. Yeah, it's a town in between the 2 major cities that we're heading between, and we'll pick it up next Tuesday. So that's my player journal for it. Pretty basic and not too much depth because, as I said, we are right at the start, but still rambled on for 10 minutes. So let me know if you have any questions. If you started a new campaign recently, what character are you playing? Any advice for playing a war domain cleric? At the minute, I've spent lots of my gold on some chainmail, big hammer, holy sigil, holy water, a component pouch so I can cast light on my hammer so I can see things because I'm a human. But yeah, let me know if you've got any tips. Leave some comments. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up. If you want notifications when these videos come out, make sure you tick the bell, and I'll see you on the next one.